And I'll do my best to make you not nervous.
I'll be okay. I'm like, at least the kitchen is put together, right? Like,
Well, here we are. Hello, everyone. I'm so excited to have Kim here. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Let us know if you are here live or on the replay. You know me, I'm Coach Narit. I'm super excited to have Kim on. Please give her a ton of love, a ton of hearts, because for every comment, for every heart, for every fire emoji. She gets $1 towards Starbucks, and we want to get her all the drinks for her family. So comment live, comment replay, give her some love. Okay, Kim, tell us
yes.
who you are, where you're from, what you do. Tell us your story.
Um, well, I am Kim West. I am from Columbia, Maryland. And I am a fifth grade teacher for Howard County Public School Systems. So shout out to all the teachers because we do not have an easy job.
So I love teachers. I was a fifth grade teacher for about 10 years, so I love teachers. Tell us what was going on with you, with your health, with your mind before you started the Midlife Makeover program.
Yeah. So, I guess when I first started looking at your program, I was just in a really, I would say bad place. I felt like I had hit rock bottom. And I had felt like that only one other time in my life, which was about maybe 6.5, 7 years prior. And I had done a program then and lost weight and kept it up for a couple years, but there was just a lot of things recently, well, more recently that kind of contributed to everything. I think one, my age, what I was doing wasn't working. What I was doing, I couldn't do with certain type of injuries or basically previously when I had lost weight before, I did kind of have like a nutrition plan, but I also was doing HIIT workouts. And, come to find out when you get to a certain age, they're not the best. They just, and it was harder to do those workouts because I developed a cyst behind my knee, which made box jumps, things like that, very difficult to do. Um, and on top of that, I had gained back some weight, but really, I think what kind of propelled me in maybe the wrong, not say the wrong direction, but I would say the wrong direction. Um, Last summer in August, my sister and I had gone on a vacation with my mom, and my mom passed away while on that vacation with us. Mom was a huge part of our life, huge, huge part. And that was really hard to stomach. I don't think I realized how hard it was until every single time you were in a fog and you came out of it, then you kind of realized you were in the fog. Um, and just not that I didn't care, but it was harder to get up in the morning, harder to do anything. And that kind of spiraled me down even more. And it was actually my husband who really kind of pushed me because he didn't really like what he was seeing. Um, and I just, I just had a really hard time with any type of confidence. Tired all the time, cranky all the time. I did not like the way I looked. I did not like looking at pictures. In fact, I didn't want to have any pictures taken, which is very odd because I am a picture person. My house is full of them. Um, and I just kind of got to a really bad place. And I knew I needed to do something because every single time I tried to do what I did before, it just didn't work. And so I needed to kind of jumpstart myself. So that's kind of most of it in a nutshell, more recent events. So
Well, thank you for, first of all, being so vulnerable and sharing your story because I know how hard that must be. And so sorry for you and losing your mom in such a way. What I love about our program is so many of our women have something, just like everyone has something that they're vulnerable about. So thank you for sharing that. You said that you kind of needed something and what you were doing, what you had tried before wasn't working. So
mhm.
can you talk to me about like what other things you had done before and how this is sort of different?
Sure. Before, like I said, they were 30-minute workouts, but they were HIIT workouts, so that was slightly different. And then the food portion was it was always kind of had your veggies, have your protein, have your carb, but you still were restricted in a sense. No bananas, no carrots, no grapes. things like that. I mean, we all know they have sugar, so that's why. And yeah, you get to a point in time in life where you do want to live life and you want to enjoy it, and you might want that carrot. So, and it's a carrot.
Yeah.
But it's not like you're, trying to eat an entire cake. So really that's what I was trying to go back into. I was trying to emulate that again on my own. And it just wasn't working. And for some reason, I might have done it for a little bit of time, but then I'd falter and then I'd kind of be like, well, screw it. Like, then I have some really bad days. And then I'd be like, no, I got to get this done. And I would try again. And then I'd falter again. And like I said, the weight just kept adding on, adding on. And I should say, health wise, my numbers were fine. Like if I went to the doctor, they would have said I was overweight, but I could go to the doctors now having lost 24 pounds and feeling good, and I'd still be overweight. My body type does not fit the BMI.
Same.
And yeah, it's kind of, I'm always just like, I look like a linebacker. I've got broad shoulders. I was a swimmer, things like that. So, but it just didn't work. And I should also say I did try something, with a trainer I had really enjoyed, at least training with before. And I think when we were on one of our first calls, I told you the thing that I didn't like about it was there wasn't really any accountability there. And the check-in and communication, I am not the person who is always going to reach out. It's just for some reason I'm very independent. I can do it on my own. If that's the teacher side of me, the mom side of me, I don't know. I'm very independent and stubborn. So that was hard, because I kind of needed somebody to check in on me. I wouldn't always reach out to ask those questions, I guess. And the biggest difference with this program is that's what you guys do. When you say first of all, you have to be accountable every weekend on that form. And I remember the first time sitting there, and I always had my iPad up to do it because I needed my phone so I could cycle through the days to actually see how I had done, like, grand scheme of things. Being accountable on the weekend for what my week looked like. And you also asking, what do you need from me? And it is those frequent check-ins. I mean, you might check in at 10 o'clock. I might not get back to you till 5 because I've worked all day, and then I can finally like open up personal communication email. But that's what I needed. I needed somebody to hold me accountable. I didn't necessarily need somebody to tell me exactly what to eat, but maybe how to eat. Because I also was a big firm believer in I'm not going to go out and buy a ton of new things. Like I I want to eat what's in my house. I want to be I wanted it I guess I wanted it easy. I wanted to get the results while also making it easy on myself. Um and using what I had in the house and things like that. And the accountability part, the what do you need from me part, and me saying I want those frequent check-ins, or hey, can you watch my veggies this week because I'm really slacking? That's helpful because for me that works. I need that accountability piece. So, and I like the fact that you will reach out. I like the fact that if anybody is questioning when you say you can text me anytime, that you do get back right away. I'm very impressed by that. Even one time you're like, I'm so sorry, I was in my son's school. I'm like, it's okay, you were doing something with your kid. But like that you don't get at a lot of places, I feel, or you won't get in like a canned program.
I I 100% agree. I also think everyone needs accountability. Everyone. I've been doing this for 12 years, and to be successful, correct. I totally agree with
And
that.
you need to be
What
honest in order to be accountable. That's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
to type in I ate a cupcake. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, what are they gonna think? And I think that was one of the hardest things in the beginning. Was in the beginning it wasn't because I really wanted to be successful, so I was being very, very good. But then the first couple times it's like, but I want the donut. I want and you
And
eat it. And I'm like, okay. And it was hard to type in donut. Like it was like, oh my gosh. But it was it's hard to type it in, but at the same time, it's an awareness. It's an awareness of, oh, so this is how I hit. Well, better not do that next time. So it that
But-
it yeah, yeah. Is
So you were able to eat donuts. I really want to be clear about this. Like, um, I want to talk about your wins. So, but I want to talk about the balance with it too. So I want you to share your wins with us. Like, what are your biggest wins, physically, mentally, emotionally, since starting the program?
So physically, I mean, I remember when we talked, we had made kind of my birthday because I was turning 50, and you're like, look, I hands down, I'll get you 10 to 12 pounds. Like that doable, you'll be fine. And you're like, you can try for 20, but you're gonna be micromanaging everything you put in your mouth. I managed and I was not, I mean, I was watching what was in my mouth, but I ate the donuts, I ate the cupcakes, I ate the cookies, pasta, pizza. Um, so I think physically one of the biggest wins obviously is not just the weight, but the loss of the belly. Um, that was something that was really bothering me even before we came in. Was the belly fat. I had already heard that belly fat was so bad for you, especially women. And the loss of the belly was huge. I'm still working on that, but the loss of the belly was huge. Um, and also just getting stronger. It kind of killed me the first week when I had to do like bicycles or cross crunches. And I'm like, I used to be able to pump these out, and I'm like dying at like 7. And so the fact that my physical endurance is so much better and strength, physically, those are the really, really good big wins. I feel better about myself, getting up off the couch, off the floor when you're with the like 10-year-olds and you can hang with them and do things with them, jump rope, stuff like that. Those are the big wins for me physically. Um, mentally, there's a couple things there. It's kind of a domino effect, I guess. I'm actually getting up, working out in the morning. There's a couple things that have kind of propelled me. In the beginning, it was my own motivation. Then we have a little group through your group. And oh boy, was that needed yesterday. I don't do well with this weather. And we're on what, day 4 of class? I don't do well.
I'm over it.
I'm dying. I'm like, I want to eat all the bad things. Like, because this weather, I do not mentally do well with. And it was the push of having to be in that group. And I was like, I don't want to text that I'm not going to work out. I better get up, better do it. And so I did. I got up and I did it. I didn't want to, but I did. So mentally just wanting to work out, because if I work out in the morning, then I'm better for my students during the day, which in turn kind of tamps my stress down a little bit. It makes me happier. And then makes my household happy, my husband happy when I'm happy, because then I'm not snapping. And, but teaching is a stressful job, and every year you get a new crop of kids, and sometimes those groups are easier than others. And I loved my students this year, but there were a lot of challenges, and just mentally being able to handle that better and handle, um, some major events that my mom was a huge part of, and get through that. Having to handle her estate, um, going through a kitchen renovation, like all the chaos and stress. The working out helped me physically, but it then also helped me mentally in the morning. It was like, so it's kind of weird to me. It's kind of like a domino circular type effect. It helped one thing, which helped another, which helped another. Um, and it just makes me happier. I mean, I truly am happier. And I'm not just saying that. I really am happier. With
Um, stacking wins in the morning is such a big
Mhm.
deal. I'm a big believer of stacking wins in the morning to impact your day. I remember our first call together, and I'm very big on, under promising, over delivering. I say that
Mhm.
on the call to everyone I get on the call with. We always do that. But what fears that you have, uncertainties, we didn't know each other before. So
Right.
what fears that you have in the
There are a
beginning?
couple. I hated that you wanted me to put those pictures in the app. That was bad. I took that first picture and I wanted to cry. I understood the point of it. I was mortified. Like, I am kind of mortified that people are seeing it too. Like I'm just like, oh my gosh, I understand the point, but it's that was mortifying for me. That was fearful that I actually wouldn't be successful, that I was spending money on something and I wouldn't be successful. Um, Tracking was in the beginning very tedious, and I was a little bit worried I wouldn't stay with it because of the tediousness of it. And then also the whole stigma of, my closest friends or my family, what will they think when it's dinner time and I'm not just taking the serving spoon? You don't even want to know how many measuring cups I have now. I walk out with my little measuring cups and I scoop with a measuring cup. And y- that those were kind of my biggest fears were, what's it going to look like? And then would I be successful? And, you feel like, you're investing a lot on yourself, but would I actually be able to be successful the way I wanted to be successful?
Yeah.
Those were my
Yeah.
fears.
And that is all of those are super understandable. I think everyone has that fear when they first start, like the fear of unknown, the fear of will I be successful? So how did the experience now, not just, you lost a lot of weight, a lot ton of inches. I mean, your pictures are amazing, but how that the experience has the experience help you overcome your original fear?
It has. I mean, it really has. I actually started, I mean, it took a while to like taking the pictures. I think once I could really see it, see the difference, or if my husband made comments after we took them, he might notice something I didn't. He's extremely supportive of this, huge champion for it. Um, and even you know, my sister who had taken previous classes years ago, she had to do the whole measuring thing. So she was actually a huge help. I was not scared to tell her, but like, what's she gonna think? Like, why can't you do this on your own? Why do you need to pay somebody to help you? Why can't you do it on your own type of thing? But she was very much like, whatever keeps you healthy. They're retired and they're traveling the world. So her and her husband, who live with us when they're not off somewhere, like he would be like, so what are you doing? He was actually curious as to what we were doing. And I think that helped. And even when we went out to eat, because especially in the beginning, um, if I wasn't sure, is this quarter cup, third cup, half cup? She's like, oh no, that's not a quarter, that's closer to a half. And I'm like, oh, okay. It felt good. None of my family members or friends, if they were with me, they were extremely supportive. They were like, I was surprised how supportive they were. It kind of took away the stigma of it. And it was a very positive experience, really positive experience. Helped educate my husband a little bit when he's like, so what did you just put on your plate? Was that like, and I was like, oh no, that's just a half a cup. And he's like, oh. I'm like, oh, because he's done my fitness pal before. And I was like, oh, you're tracking wrong, like that kind of a thing. So it worked well. And as tedious as my fitness pal was in the beginning, I actually learned to like it in because it really helped me see where I was at, and oh, maybe I shouldn't eat that. Like I enjoyed the banana with peanut butter, but I can have a yogurt with granola and save a lot more calories because at dinner I want this. So I think that was kind of the helpful part of it. If I'm going to eat this, that's great. But then kind of how are you looking at your whole day? Like I know you're a huge advocate of pre-checking. Like go for the next day. And I try sometimes. It's easier with school when I was making my lunch the night before because I knew I could plug it in, or if it was the same dinner, I could copy and paste it. Um, my breakfast is the same breakfast every day. So I use that feature of my meals and boom, copy paste, it's in there. Um, it became a lot easier and wasn't as scary as I thought it would be, and wasn't as time consuming as I thought it actually would be in the beginning. And like I said, it was helpful. It was, as to what I should eat and what I shouldn't eat. Or if I knew, like on donut day, I was going to be making donuts. And I think I had even messaged you guys because like, well, in the Friday Daddy's house, we also do fried chicken. And you were like, oh, do it this way. And that helped. That was helpful. And then I just scaled my lunch and my breakfast one way so that I could enjoy my fast nuts in the evening time. So
We
That,
wanted you to have that fried chicken and those donuts. I
yeah.
remember that day. And I
Yeah.
also recall that before this, your husband was using MyFitnessPal and you were. And the key with is understanding how to track
Mhm.
because you can track for years and
Mhm.
not lose weight because it's not done right. You don't understand how to eat. So I love that you brought that point up about like wanting to eat like the things you love, but just learning
Mhm.
how to eat them so you actually get results.
Yeah.
Because we don't
Yeah.
want you to change your whole life, right? We want to tweak something
Mhm.
um, and then really get some results. So, what was your favorite part of the program? Like, a lot of people think that, like, did we tell you not to eat certain foods? Did we tell you, like, a lot, like, because when you were talking about the stuff you did before, it was very restricted. So, did we tell you not to eat pizza, pasta, chocolate, any of that stuff? I just like to clarify
I
any.
think that almost is my favorite part is that I could do this and lose the weight, and I'm still losing. I mean, I just lost last week. I can lose the weight eating the food that has always been in my house. Um, it's just, again, a matter of knowing what to eat and me making those conscious decisions of, I don't have to have a salad every day at lunch. That's boring. I mean, I love salads. I actually prefer it when somebody
Yeah.
makes me a salad. But I mean, you guys could see every Friday, I hate packing lunches, especially towards the end of the school year. It's Panera Friday. I always get a Panera salad on Friday, but I know that's I'm gonna have. But I think that was my favorite part is that I didn't actually have to go out and buy anything new. I mean, and I know in the Facebook group, it's awesome to see certain things that people buy. And then part of me is like, okay, that's cool. Or I go and I'm like, that's really expensive. And my son's home for the summer and he's a 21-year-old and he eats a lot. So maybe not. So I think that is my favorite part. Also, the little tips and tricks that you guys give, I haven't just with everything going on at school, but your Tuesday talks and things, that protein to calorie ratio thing, I use that all the time now. Like if I'm looking at certain things that are, they advertise is um lots of protein or that I'll look at the back and I'm like, it's 200 calories, but there's like only 8 grams of protein. Not gonna eat that. I'll choose something else. And, I mean, if I really want to eat it, I'll eat it. But those little tricks are good to know because I didn't know that beforehand. But yeah, that's probably my favorite part is that I can lose the weight, I can have success, and I can eat what's in my house and I can eat what I want to eat. Um, and even I remember there was one night we were going out for my husband's birthday and it was sushi. And one of you checked in as I was actually going to the restaurant. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to sushi. And you're like, okay, that one can be hard to navigate. I'm like, ooh, okay, help. Like, and that was helpful. So I think one of my favorite parts is the accessibility to you or Sarah, and that you guys do respond so quickly, and the fact that you can do this with. I mean, as long as you shop, I think relatively healthily, you can do everything. You don't have to really go out and buy a prescribed plan, and I like that because I want to eat what I want to eat. And just knowing what actually is healthier for you or what's going to keep you more full for the day or things like that. So that's
Yeah.
my favorite part.
Oh, when you said full and satisfied, because I like to eat a lot of food to
Mhm.
feel satisfied. Like my plate is always full, but like
Mhm.
learning what makes your plate full is so important.
Yeah.
And yeah, that is so relatable. And yeah, like we go to like local, like regular stores.
Yes.
That's I think what you mean. Like we don't send you off to like specialty stores or anything like that.
Yeah. And I think there was one time in one of your talks you had said, I think somebody had said something that they eat yogurt and something for breakfast. And you're like, yeah, if that's all I ate, I'd be eating in an hour. I'm the same way. And I can't everybody uses cottage cheese all the time. I can't eat that much dairy. So like I even stagger my like yogurt snack because after school is when you want a munch.
Yeah.
And so I'm like one day I do yogurt, the next day I will not. The next day I'll do yogurt because I can't have that much dairy. But I'm the same way. I want my eggs in the morning. I want my toast.
Yes, I have to have bread. That's me. That's
Yes.
what I like
Yep.
is everybody's individualized,
Hmm.
which I love because it has to work for you. Like it's how, right? It's the how part. Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
need like some carb or I'm like hungry 2 minutes later. And then I get
Yeah.
hangry and then I'm irritable, and then that cycle. So Kim, what would you say? Because we have a lot of people who have been following us for like a couple of weeks, a couple of
Mhm.
months, even years, to someone following us or thinking about doing the program, but they haven't pulled the trigger yet. Maybe they've had a call with us and they were like scared it wasn't going to work. What would you say to someone like that?
I would say pull the trigger. I was scared to pull the trigger. In fact, I think we did two calls, and my husband was on the second one, and he was more willing to pull the trigger for me than I was. I think his quote was, "She'd spend this money hands down on her kids right away, but she won't do it on herself." I would say do it. If you are in Mm. I would say do it. Like, I think you write this in one of if you're serious about doing it. You know, you're not going to have success if you're not going to be all in. If people are not going to tell you the truth, if they're not going to say this is actually what's going in my mouth, this is what I'm choosing to eat. Um, you know, there has to be the honesty on your client's end, in my opinion, in order to make it
Oh,
work.
yeah.
Um, but do it. It is it a lot of money? Yes. Do I feel good? Yes. And I mean, I elected to stay on. And my husband, that was a push of my husband too. He was very much like, he's like, you've had so much success. I don't want you to not keep doing it. He's like, we'll make it work. He's like, because I want you to continue to have success in each kind of stage that you're in. Um, and because every different stage is gonna bring new challenges and things like that. So I would say do it because if you want to feel better about yourself, if you want to improve your health, if you want to learn, I mean, that's kind of what I like. I like that I've learned. I haven't been told what to do. Um, maybe that's the teacher part of me. I don't like to tell my kids. I want them to learn. So you know, it's worth it if you actually want to make a change.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hands down.
Yeah, I think when it's like the lasting change. That's I think
Mhm.
is the difference. It's like the change that lasts because it's the why behind it.
Yeah. And I should
So
say, it's not like I'm sitting here full of a ton of money. Like it's, we did do a kitchen reno, but we signed off on that way before we met with you. Um, and not only that, I have one kid in college, the next one's going to college this year. So two kids in school. Both my kids were highly active in extracurriculars, so money went there. So, but we found a way to make it work. And I do think it's important because as you get older, it's like, your body is what you got. So,
yeah. It's literally you have the health. If you don't have your health, you don't have anything else. And if you don't have your confidence, like you said, it's
yes.
a trickle effect.
Mhm.
So Sarah and I are still doing our beach body challenge. If you are looking to lose 15 plus pounds in 12 weeks, I know you lost more, but that is our goal with 3 home workouts a week, right? Strength training, metabolic strength training week. No, not crazy workouts, for women over 40. You can send us a message. If this is resonating with you, Kim's story, you can send us a message called Beachbody Workout. Beachbody Program. That is not committing to anything because we have to see if you are a good fit, if we are a good fit to work together. Kim, thank you so much for coming on here and being vulnerable about your story and your, beginning to do this. And you are just really inspiring and empowering to not just our group, but to all these people listening today. And I know that what you shared is going to help. Like you shared a lot of knowledge today that's going to help someone and make a difference today. So thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. I know you're so close to being done.
One
Um,
more.
on your day. So thank you for taking the time today. Congratulations to your daughter. Have an amazing, amazing Tuesday. And it's an honor to coach you. Have the best day.
All right. And thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.